Italian villas of Vladimir Solovyov, elite Moscow apartments of Popov and Skabeyeva, luxury cars and global brands of Simonyan. For fooling the Russians, the Kremlin generously presents propagandists, salaries of millions rubles and bonuses, a share in state-owned companies. All this from the valley of taxpayers. After all, propagandists receive money for their service from the state budget. However, they don't announce the amount. The annual income of the married couple of propagandists Skabeyeva and Popov was found out when Popov went to the State Duma and published his declaration.
Popov's income is about 18 million rubles a year. Skabeyeva has 15. Popov still has a deputy allowance. As a deputy, several million. As a TV propagandist, he earns more than a deputy. Found out how much Vladimir Solovyov earns. Only his personal income is more than 200 million rubles a year.
And these are pre-war salaries. It is possible that now the Kremlin pays more to the talking heads of Russian TV. Indeed, even under the conditions of sanctions, they are not ready to demonstrate asceticism. Here Margarita Simonyan talks about the decaying West and the impoverished Europe, dressed from luxury Western brands. The cost of one of these is 2,000 euros, according to the current official Russian exchange rate. This is more than 120,000 rubles. To acquire such a dress, a teacher from Tuva with a salary of 12,000 rubles would have to save 10 months. True, she would no longer have to eat, be treated and use public services. Economists talk about the widening gap between rich and poor Russians after the beginning of a full-scale war against Ukraine. It even benefits the Kremlin. After all, it is easier to send poor people to war, promising good salaries, which you don't have to pay.
Putin said that the mobilized would be paid 190,000. The boys got 2,000 or 4,000 on the card. Sit under bullets for 4,000 a day, not day, per month. You'd rather die of hunger than be killed.
The mobilized from Chuvashia did not wait for their money and came out to protest. The fact that they go to the war in Ukraine to earn money, the Russian military does not hide. In the distorting mirror of Russian propaganda, the picture is quite different. Their selfless heroes give their lives for the ideas of the leader.
Propagandists bear the same responsibility. Without their activity, the events in which we have been living for at least the last year would not have been possible. This is an integral part of the war. This is not media, this is not journalism. This is part of the military machine of the Russian Federation which it uses.
Incitement of hatred and calls for genocide are part of the crimes of Russian propagandists.
Articles on public manifestations of calls for genocide can be applied to Russian propagandists. This is included into the legislation of Ukraine, as well as in the Rome Statute. And this is a crime under international law, according to the Rome Statute. The punishment for calls for genocide and crimes against humanity can be up to 30 years of imprisonment, as well as life sentence.
The Kremlin propagandists will not be able to hide from justice because these crimes do not have a statute of limitations. War criminals are caught even 20 years after being put on the wanted list. This happened to a Kremlin colleague from Rwanda. Felicien Kabuga, co-founder of the Southern Hills propaganda radio, called for ethnic hatred and instigated the 194 genocide in Rwanda. He was hiding from justice for 23 years. He was sure that he would not be found, that he would escape trial and punishment. He was wrong. Kabuga was arrested near Paris and will be judged in The Hague. Reported by Roman Smoler, Ksenia Barvinenko, UATV News.